Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to F.E.A.R 2 Project Origin. Let's continue. We're getting teasing of the replicant soldiers. We got blown down into a underground complex, I guess, basement of a basement. It's funny, I'm flashing red here as if I'm injured, but my health is at full health. We had managed to make it out of the hospital.
Judging by my readings, Alma is very
Hmm.
close to you now. You're probably already experiencing symptoms of her proximity, hallucinations, headaches, that kind
Hmm.
of thing. You have to resist her.
Here we have Snake Fist telling us to resist her. Um, so yeah, we had gotten out of the hospital that turned out to be an underground facility by Armor Cam, and we were in the outer shell of that. And then we had too many, in my opinion, fights against people. And see, I can't even use a health kit here, so we are pretty much stuck with the flickering until the jump scare that we're expecting to have happens. This is twice now that we've been thrown somewhere and potentially concussed. Um, and see, I think that's what threw us down. So, oh, are we going backwards? I don't think so. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. So this is probably a spooky section. There we can see things are moving, but apparently those are mechanical things, not. Those are not spooky things. Hmm. The, once again, we're at a problem where, like, the jump scares, we just don't know which way they're coming from. Are they coming over here so that I can melee that and get that collectible? Or are they coming from a different direction? Are we going to see adult Alma in her naked form? They frankly needed to introduce her in a new form. That would have made a lot more sense. Um, wrap her in like a coat of blood. That would have been easy enough to do. Like, sure, they've played out the idea of her of a creepy, desiccated, malnourished. I think even in her adult form, she's only like supposed to be 18. But if she's supposed to be the mother of the apocalypse, according to Snakefist, wrap her in a kind of queen like robe of blood. This flowing element. Change it up. Show that she's getting more powerful, and that you should follow her. Make her even a little bit more enticing, since in this second game, she is like. And now it wants me to melee her off. Interesting. So I guess maybe I should have shot at her. Like, I wasn't even sure if that's what we were going for. So we are now just several levels into the game introduced to her being maybe a bad guy that we want to fight. And even in the first game, that was a problem that kept on happening where there was just not a. Oh, we've got people coming. So, can we reach them? Like, we are just in this upper area. But we can't. I don't think they can make it. I. And. Yeah, we're just on the other side of this map, and there's basically nothing here. Interesting. And we can't do anything to stop the blinking. And there's no way to smack this and like drop the column on people. It is doing a nice thing in this level design that I kind of wanted to see happen. There we see some more creepy doctors. Let's turn on the flashlight. I wonder why that was off. Um, in the Portal game, Portal 1, Portal 2, there were a lot of offices that were just designed to give you the impression that somebody was looking at you. Like they've got cameras in the first level and in the hospital. They've been spying on you pretty much this whole time, in every level you've been in up until this point, but none of the levels you have yet to be in, so there are no spoilers there. But yeah, it would have been nice if you could have gotten more into the back rooms of the Aperture labs and Aperture Science. You get a little bit of that in Portal 2, not a lot.
Sergeant Becket, I've been looking over my data. I suspect what happened is that Alma became aware of you when you entered the TAC, and now she's drawn to you. You could even say she covets you. She's a coveter. You're like free pizza at an anime convention. She can smell you, and she wants to consume you.
Yeah. Why are you gonna smack at the anime fans like that? This is not a game that has anything to do with anime. Like, sure, Alma kind of looks like a Japanese person, but with the long flowing grudge like appearance. But that's odd choice. Certainly, it probably says more about the writers and the time that a game like this would have been made, in which just hating on anime fans was still in vogue. It does certainly go to show that the gamer bros, which I'm mostly glad to say have died out and fully integrated into just being gamers and calling themselves gamers. I'm not sure if they ever actually called themselves gamer bros, but they definitely were a thing when Microsoft created the first Xbox, and there were this generation of people who would have been out playing football and be very much jocks getting into playing Halo, but kind of only Halo and only first person shooters. And certainly you can see that this was a game targeting itself more to gamer bros than it would be targeting just an average gamer who would probably play a more wide variety of genres. On the other hand, it's not like that may just say more about Snakefist and terrible his terrible experience persona that he's. I can hear somebody talking. This may just very well be an example of they wanted to make a loser type character in Snakefist that thinks he's cool without. There's a guy stuck in a chair there. Yeah. So it might be a counter instance, really, where they were actually trying to show that Snakefist is the loser, and he's just trying to insult someone else. Oh, it looks like we are not getting up to this. What are the odds that we open this gate? Is the question. Or should we wait? Should we save the proximity mine? I think we save the proximity mine, because I'm not sure if the gate's going to be there. But yeah, storyline wise, I guess Alma wants to consume us. That makes sense. Or at least that's what he thinks. And that kind of makes sense, although it would also kind of smack in the exact opposite way of why is the young Alma leading us, and why Um, why would we have had a premonition around? We've got seemingly all kinds of locked doors. And all kinds of creepy sound effects. I think what they're going to try and do is reintroduce the ghost-like characters as failed experiments of this project that we're going to see. And yeah, there's definitely someone in there. He's been changed. Alright, well, do we open the pressure chamber door? Or do we have any other choice? I think we don't have any choice, so open that and be ready. Well, that locked that door. Which then, I guess, means I need to jump back around here. And I think there was only one guy in one area, so he sucked up the body to the rooftops. Okay. That feels like I stopped getting the red blinking then. And it didn't stop the time slowdown mechanic at that point, so I'm wondering if... Interesting, I was able to blow something up by swinging through the window. So I suspect there's another guy hiding around here. But that was a long distraction to simply get to where we needed to go. So you have some creepy symbology, probably trying to brainwash the guys to make him psychic. And we can certainly see he's not having a good time. And let's go ahead and just take this guy out. Alright, we've got a few of these running around. And since they're running around and they move a little too fast, I'm gonna have some trouble. More people jumping around while creepy sounds are playing. And the music stopped. I feel like that was a mercy killing more than anything else. It's still slightly questionable whether I am actually seeing humans here that are actually just humans and the game is giving us a false narrative, or whether this is the reality of the situation. Alright, so let's... Can't... You have to actually use the E button here, the use button. So you can't just use the melee for anything. It still would be incredibly easy though for the game to have mapped the use button and the melee button to the same button. Where was that vent? It was over here. And I feel like this is just an, what is this? Reflex injector. Some more reflexes. Then no jump scare for that. I guess they probably couldn't afford to. Interesting, I walked through the steam and then there was a little bit of moisture on my visor, my glasses. Yeah, they can't afford to have any of the jump scares hidden near any of the optional levels. They just don't have enough of a budget to have content not be seen. And that also certainly explains why so much of this game is incredibly linear. Like, almost all the game is linear. There's maybe a slight left or right you can take around a column, and that's about it. And like any first-person shooter, you're constantly reloading. There was one game out there where when you reloaded, you wasted the bullets. I don't think this is one of those games, though. We can certainly see in that example, though, how this enemy is a different type of enemy than the soldiers. The way he's running around and jumping and trying to avoid being shot by coming down a hallway in multiple different directions. Guy is behind me. About to run out of bullets. You know what? It is time for the shotgun. We are way past the point in which the shotgun should be used. And here we have holding 21, where I feel like that we saw one of these that said holding 12 before. There we go. That was a waste of some good armor. Of course, now reloading with a shotgun in particular would be really crazy to lose bullets because you reloaded prematurely in that instance. Now we know we're underground, which you're in a weird position with that thought too, because there seems to be a fairly lack of willingness to show us what the apocalypse world looks like outside. So maybe we get to actually see what the city looks like, and certainly after F.E.A.R 3 you would have introduced the idea that it wasn't just affecting the one city that all the stories are taking place in, but it's affecting other cities, or it's slowly spreading to other cities. Or maybe you drop Alma as a important character in the series at all, and you instead introduce a different kind of supernatural attack that F.E.A.R agents maybe now over the years have become used to dealing with. There might be a slight problem with sticking with Alma as your main story, main character for 3 games. You can get a trilogy around Alma, or any character like Alma, but she needs to fade into the history, and fading to the background. We're getting the music to slowly start playing. I feel like you could easily fall to your own death if you're not careful. They're still trying to blow up the whole place. And I'm kind of helping them. And these guys are just, I think, gonna keep on coming. Wow, that is a lot of wobbling that's happening there. I don't know what just triggered all that. Yeah, we're trying to go up, not down. So I feel like we just had a delayed reaction of something exploding. Then they want us to jump down here to trap ourselves. So we're probably now going to take on the same enemies with tighter corners, which isn't going to be too much of a difference. But I could certainly see if somehow you insanely let your guard down, you could get one of these characters could get to jump on you. Let's see. Go ahead and collect that collectible. But we don't really have falling action, so I don't know why specifically you would let your guard down in a scenario like this. Just shut that door just in case there is a guy that managed to walk out that door. Like, yeah. That totally would not make sense. I'm about to... No, I've got plenty of shotgun shells. So I'm fine on that aspect. In a more modern game, you would almost certainly move this and interact with it. All of our cover-based technology has been forgotten. They put that up front to make it seem like that was going to be in the game the whole time, and then they obviously could not integrate it into a lot of objects and just ran out of budget. And that's fine because this game doesn't really work as a cover-based shooter. Particularly when you've got monsters running up to you trying to slash your throat. It might have made some sense against just the replica soldiers and soldiers in general. And we may transition eventually back to soldiers. And maybe we'll see some more sections of cover-based shooting. See, well, this seems like this would be the prime place to set a proximity mine. Okay. And press the button. We'll just come over into the corner. Seriously? Well, we'll just pick that back up. And then we need to go ahead and swing back to frag grenades. Max capacity 12,000 pounds. That's quite the cargo elevator. It's not. It couldn't be killed. Instead, it got sliced by the fan blades. So I wasted some bullets on that. Oh, I guess there was another explosion. We're still doing the whole explosion thing. I definitely feel like there was a section in the first game that was very much designed like this too. Like, all the art assets are pretty much brand new, but some of the level design does feel like it is doing more than just callbacks to the first game, and is instead literally just copying and pasting content. Seems like we are going to be setting ourselves up for a big bad fight. Which at a certain point, I don't know if the shotgun is the right move or if we need possibly the flamethrower. Like, this is clearly they were constructing some test facilities here where you were shooting they're training probably the replicant soldiers.
Well, son, end of the road. Can't say I'm gonna miss your foot up my ass.
This is nice.
Let me show you something while I've got your attention. A guy named Alma Wade had this place built. He's the one that came up with the replica program. Genetically engineered puppet soldiers that respond to telepathic orders from psychic commanders. Fucking crazy.
That is probably the way to address the first game.
Started off as a regular Joe like you or me. The problem is, the process of turning somebody into a viable commander takes a bit of a toll. With the right amount of psychic amplification, this thing can control the replica, but he's so far gone, nobody can control him. Not very useful in a military situation, but adequate for my present needs. How about a demonstration?
And so
Let's go pay our respects.
he's in
Finish up here.
this area.
Anybody digging anything out of this hole that links us to Project Origin or Alma or any of this insanity, you read me?
This guy is literally just trying to clean up someone else's mess.
See you in hell.
Alright. Cool. Maybe they should have tried to do more of that earlier. Alright, so he's just gonna psychically tell these replica soldiers to show up, and they're just going to show up and make my day. This is not the best way to deal with This is no way the best way to deal with this. But on normal, even at this, where this feels like this would have been much more of a challenge. Standing right next to the... What does he want to swap with us? Automatic shotgun? Alright, well... So I'm gonna swap my slower shotgun with a faster shotgun. We've got somebody. Did Alma just killed him? So Alma just protected you, which definitely does not feel like, oops, I didn't really mean to drop down there. So now we also know what are in these little containers. Man, I am low on a lot of bullets. So these containers contain replica soldiers. We are all over the place. Alma just saved our butt again, which does kind of make it hard to believe that she just wants to consume you. If anything, she has bigger plans for you than that. Otherwise, she would have waited for you to be weakened and then consume you at that point. Okay. So they're gonna come out of these soldier pods going forward. And I guess the question will become, is this a case of Alma controlling the soldiers, the replicant soldiers coming out of the soldier pods, or is it a case of another psychic person controlling them? And once again, we're having more trouble. A lot more trouble still trying to angle the shots. There's oddly kind of a lack of penalty for failing even on normal, and as much as I might generally disagree with the idea of having 5 or 6 different difficulty settings, feels like an adaptive difficulty in this case might have been beneficial, because this really isn't getting super easy when I'm dying, nor is it getting particularly more hard when I'm succeeding fairly well. It could be that their metrics for success might be, did you die, or not, whereas you might better measure the metric of success based on how many shots you're taking or how long it's taking you to move from one place to another. This is kind of one of these games too where you are more than likely better off rushing through it. You can be moderately thorough, but you're not being asked in this game to spend an hour solely strategizing around your next move or anything like that. I thought someone was there, but nope. There's an arm there. I don't think there's a reason to jump back down there because I think that's where we just were. Can't shut down these pieces of equipment. So they're doing the same gimmick over and over again here where you see a higher area and then it is accessible later. I think almost certainly that's because these are levels designed for multiplayer first and foremost, and they're being retrofitted into a single player experience. These guys definitely feel like they have more armor. And somebody just shot me in the back of the head. And see, that's a little weird because I had kind of just looked at the single player, like my health bar. So you gotta be careful. I'm out of grenades, and it doesn't auto switch. Now's kind of a good time to slow down things and wrap around here and see how many enemies are still around. On the assault rifle, we're still low on shots, and the gun that I'm using right now is not particularly lifting objects. Apparently is something we can do now. Interesting. Well, do we want to go down here? Or So we got a couple proximity mines for the extra exploration. Cool. I'm gonna have a hard time finding a good place to use proximity mines though. Like, even knowing that a bunch of people were gonna come through this central area, there really wouldn't have been some great instances, I feel like, where I could have used that. Let's see. Them having two health kits back to back is fairly pointless unless on easier modes you can have more than 3. Because, yeah, if you survive at all, you're probably not going to be in a bad situation like that. Although you could be. It's believable that maybe you were a little bit low on health kits from a previous section, and that was just a good point to make sure you get back up to having at least 2. We're seeing more explosions and more people shooting at somebody, but they don't seem to be actually shooting at me. There's kind of no reason to even go in there. Just let them fight whatever they're fighting. It's, I guess the regular soldiers are fighting replicant soldiers. That's the best I can figure what's happening. And we've got a lot going on right now. Let's see, pick this up. Here's somebody working on a workbench, so I suspect this might be where Snake Fist was at one point. I still keep trying to throw grenades, and I don't have any grenades. So let's turn on some incendiary grenades. Let's reload that. Let's decide if we should be doing shotgun. That took more time than it should have to work around through just a small square footage of area. But I guess the game is getting a little bit tougher. You should be not too far off from finishing a level, because the levels have gotten down to about 50 minutes, and there's no hard and fast rule that a level should be an hour. If anything, there's probably a good argument that it shouldn't be that long. So I guess the next question to ask is, if we are going to run into Snake Fist, are we going to immediately be betrayed by him and or punched out and knocked out by him? I don't think my bullets can even hit these guys. They're just scripted puppets. That kind of clipped through the wall and kind of felt like it came out of nowhere. I imagine they don't want me to jump down the elevator shaft, but definitely feels like there should have been a collectible there. So yeah, they're fighting monsters, they're fighting replicants. All hell has broken loose. That's just a light. Can't knock it over. Can we shoot it? No. Just stuck in place. Of course, you have to be a little careful, even in modern games, that if you eliminated all the... if you completely eliminated all the light sources in an area on accident by shooting them and just severe amounts of spray and pray shooting, you might create a very, very dark environment that was not the intention of the creators of the game. It's funny that they're calling me out for hiding. But the truth of it is, pretty much any game could do that. It's not special. Even during this time, most games would have had AIs. They could have been programmed to yell out something that they knew. And the knowing is fairly easy because you can either actually render a line of sight out for each AI, or you can just cheat it and have the characters always know where you are, and then run a percentage chance about whether they are allowed to know where you are. See if that grenade can actually hit them. So we have a lock that's been padlocked. There's some armor. Seems like we maybe have two, maybe three more people left. Are we at a point where the submachine gun has enough bullets? Not really. I don't think I can shoot through him, through the wall there. I don't think he can hit me, and I don't think I can hit him. We've got the creepy music playing. And he just needed one more hit. Is there something sneakily hidden back behind this? If there is, I wouldn't be able to really reach it. I don't think. See, there's... Seemingly, if I could jump from here to here, I could get up to that. And then if I can jump from there to there... This is where the run button might come in handy. And even if I could get up there, that's like staging 6. And if there is something up there, I don't know what it is. It doesn't seem like there's probably an expansion thing, if I was to guess. Try to go late on it and fall off the edge and try and grab the edge. Let's see. Well, let's see. On the keyboard, this would be the shift button, so let's see. Shift. Nope. Alt. Alt. Forward and space. Which would be Alt, W, and space. Well, honestly, even trying that on the keyboard is kind of crazy. It's not a reasonable ask. I guess at this point I could have lifted that up. Then I could have opened that to get in there. Let's see. Switch over to frag grenades. We have shock grenades also. We'll probably want to save those for bigger enemies. I feel like I threw that frag grenade and it got stuck in a wall or something and became a dud. Health is full, lots of automatic weapons. How can my automatic assault rifle, I guess it's the assault rifle that's full. So, yeah, this is the gun I should be using. And yeah, I don't see a collectible even from that perspective. Although I may not have a choice, I may need to go back that way. Oh, this is so irritating. Is there possibly another path? Like, can I jump up to that? Not really. Is there possibly another way up here? If I jump over here, can I reach that? No. The only way up, if there is any way up, is here. We could look as close to our feet as possible. And see how floaty your jumping is in general. Let me just put the controller down, and I'm gonna bring the keyboard over and W this and jump. See, because it's always been you press the Alt button to get that run after the fact. It's not Alt and W. Well, that does work. Okay. So I'm now using the arrow keys to turn around. And we can make that fine. We can get here. Wow, I feel like I'm floating because I am. Here we go. This and jump. Just, I don't think you can do it. I'm just gonna have to risk it. I'm just gonna have to risk that there's no collectible there. That might be something that is for just for multiplayer people, or that might just be for fun. Hopefully that isn't the point where we are not going to get all the collectibles in all the levels, and thus that's the point where I won't be able to 100% the achievements. Although I haven't even really checked to see if the achievements in this game actually connect to Steam achievements, or if it's just the awards being an in-game award system. You can hear all kinds of shooting. That is also a great example of the only way you're going to have any kind of falling action in this game, and there probably should have been more sections like that where they hide something for you to collect and make it obvious where to find it. They have been probably too obvious as in the past as far as hidden things. Let's see, I'm trying to see what time slowdown mechanics if I can see everybody. This feels like a fairly large area where you could have monsters coming out of every single one of these craters. And it seems like I can just activate the elevator. And that seems too easy. By far, this definitely feels more like a case where I should like select a proximity mine and place it. Then as soon as somebody decides to jump out of any of those, maybe we will blow up everybody in all 4 of them. It also seems fairly obvious that we should use shock grenades, and that this is going to be a very large and difficult fight because we are seeing 2 armors and minimum 2 minimum of 2 health kits and lots of grenades, lots of weapons. They're not just gonna hand these out to. I'm hearing sound effects. Here you have mud flaps on your truck. And we have some intel. Then some more office stuff. What would be weird though is if this was Alma that we're going to take on, because that doesn't make a lot of sense that electric grenades, shock grenades would be the right weapon for Alma. It seems like you'd almost need some kind of magic grenades for Alma. Is there anything else to possibly look at here? We have a locked valve. We got the proximity mines ready to go. You can definitely feel how this game has not had levels like this before, where they're trying to get you to set up and prepare. And of course, the most irritating thing that could possibly happen in a scenario like this is if there literally is nothing and you just end the level, because then you would feel very shortchanged. Close the pressure valve. All right. Alright, so needed more proximity mines. It definitely feels like I should probably be overusing grenades and trying to maintain as much as many possible scenarios where I have armor up, because armor seems to probably reduce damage more than just acting as twice the amount of health as you typically would just assume that's all armor does, although very often it doesn't. It often is representative of a reduction in the percent of damage you take. So go back to armor. Have anybody else? Seems like there's still a lot of opportunity here for this to go wrong. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this was the halfway point. It's funny, it's saving. Alright, here we go. The real problem. So we've got a massive amount of damage we're taking. We're gonna have to be careful about that. Let's not get directly in front of it. And let's also use something that probably does a lot more damage. I'm in the shock range there. So napalm, not the right weapon there. I didn't think it was, but I figured it might be worth a try. Alright, we need... I literally just blew myself up because I hit the wrong button. on. Like, I am messing this up so badly. I'm totally messing this up horribly. Let's run over here, get some more of this. We need 1, 2, 3. And then we need to power up this thing and smack it as much as possible. See, it is much more a pattern-based attack here than anything we've done before this point. See, I've shocked myself there, but got it done. Let's go ahead and swap back to this gun now. And we will try our very best to recoup as much as we can. But I don't think there's as much here to recoup as possible, so we're pretty much going to leave this level with just one med kit, which that's probably fine. Like, that's not going to be a big deal. We do have armor here. It is possible that we run around and look a little bit more, we might be able to find something more. I do have to say, the robotic characters are just thoroughly unimpressive in this game. I am not in any way interested in that. Well, oh no, this might be bad. Well, maybe not. Maybe I could have just run around and taken that guy out. There's nothing in here. Yeah, even in the first game, the soldiers and all and the robots and the extra armored people were just not my cup of tea. So up we go, and this is probably where we're going to go into the blackness, and that's going to be the end of the level.
Oh, thank God you're alive.
I told you not to worry, Stokes. He's tough like me.
Becket, Keegan and Manny are en route. We're gonna try to link up at the stadium, but the streets are a mess, so we may have to improvise.
And then it just fades. You have escaped the underground facility and established contact with Lieutenant Stokes and Sergeant Griffin. Your orders are to rendezvous with your team at the rally point near the stadium. Sergeant Keegan and Sergeant Morales are on their way. They're in the APC, which APC is a armored personnel carrier, I believe. So you'd almost feel like you were approaching the end of the game, except for the whole Alma thing. Although Alma, I guess, could show up at any point, and she could be your big boss at the stadium, near the stadium. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually don't get inside the stadium. Stadiums in general take a lot of custom animation to not show you a lot, because it's mostly just seats in a field and maybe a lot of bathrooms and concession stands, but they tend to be not particularly interestingly designed architecture or level design. So far, so good with F.E.A.R 2, but also I will say, for its age, this game shows its age as a 2009 game. It doesn't stand up to the enthralling experience you would have with even later Monolith games, such as Shadow of Mordor. I haven't played Shadow of War, But I will probably get around to playing the single player, but they've already shut down the multiplayer components of that too, so maybe it stops being relevant at that point. Um, but yeah, this is still a little slow because of the mapping to a controller. But even if I was trying to use a mouse and keyboard, we see now that platforming and trying to jump, even what would have been normally a very simple jump, is impossible for me, even on a mouse and keyboard. And that is very indicative of what this experience would have been. I probably would have gotten frustrated and very possibly even rage quit if I was just trying to play this game full mouse and keyboard. Um, at the very least, I wouldn't like it. Anyways, we went longer, and an hour and 11 minutes. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, you can click on Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.